many people came into this country first and foremost with they want to survive.
Yeah.
I didn't come into this country with the mindset of I want to survive. I know I already survived. I want to thrive. That's what I came with the mindset of it. Yeah. One of the things that you need to understand first and foremost is to understand the game and rule of engagement of the game. Because if you don't understand the rule of engagement of the game that you're trying to play in, you might find yourself, on the losing end. And that's pretty much what is happening with many of our brothers and sisters. So you have to understand how the system works. What are the things that you need to know, and then what are the things that you don't have to do. And that's first and foremost what I took time to learn about immediately after I got here. Because you can't rely on salary to be able to do anything in this part of the world. How much is the salary? How do you buy a house? In Ontario today, the average home is about $800,000.
Yeah.
And so if you rely on just a salary to be able to do that, how much are you getting paid? Maybe $50,000, $40,000. People get lucky to find $65,000, $70,000 job today. Coupled with the cost of living that is going on around, things are a lot difficult to be able to do.
Yeah.
So back then, you could still find a house for, $500,000. I think the first house that I bought was for $505,000.
Okay.
The second one I bought it for $445,000. And this was in 2019 and 2020. Right?
So in just a space of 2 years, 1 year, 2 houses.
Oh yeah, it's possible because if you have the money, you can buy the house. These are all in places here in Ontario that, everybody wants to live, so without necessarily spending too much time where exactly it is. Yes, I live in Oakville, but yeah. That's not the first or the second, but let's just leave
so even the third. Oh my God.
The Answer Channel, a solution to every situation.
Okay, nkwaniriza konyera jesinziro kwate ngo tulaba mukutugwa The Answer Channel. The Answer Channel eri DA olikawo space nogenda ku answer nolikawo space nogenda ku channel. Ojasanda bunyo kwate ngo tufuna searchinga, after searching ojja kwate ngo tufunya dala bunyo mpola tuli abantu 800+ wakwegattako oba yatwegattako edda tekikwetagisa kuddamu subscribinga kubanga guno mukutu gwali guyitibwa Uganda byogere mabega then gwaddamu buzi ne kufuuka The Answer Channel. So ya subscribing edda tekikwetagisa kuddamu subscribinga, you already member with us. Tugende bugenze mu maaso nga tutambuze ekintu kyaffe kino mpola ekya The Answer Channel. Now atandaba ku subscribinga kye tulina okukwata tukola era genda ku mukutu gwa aba search engine ya YouTube, tekamu tekawo space, tekawo answer, tekawo space, tekawo channel. Ojja kubatengula all of our works zijja kuba zitambula mpola osobola kubatenga otwegattako muganda wange. Nze Kakalamu The Answer, Remy Ntambi ali ku camera. Now for today, as we used to say, the time we started working with Opoka Martin, the Ugandan guy who doesn't even speak Luganda. I've been telling you guys that some days we shall be having some different people coming into our channel, just to open up our eyes, just to see how different cultures they are doing, how we can work with them, how we can stay with them, and how we stay with them in that other way. And another thing, we're looking for the inspiration or inspiring stories, live the experience for different people. That's our passion and our goal, why we always keep doing the interviews for different people. Now today, I'm glad and humbled I have one of the person I've been looking for a good time. Even to give you a 30 minutes of his time is worth it. None other than Bisi Ogbanare, a nationality from Nigeria. I'm so humbled that you accepted my invitation and even accepted to invite me into your office. This means a world to me. Say hi to us. And the viewers want to get a clear picture and a clear information about you.
Thank you so much, Gerard, for giving me the time to come onto your channel. And I just want to say, first and foremost, congratulations on the good work that you do with the channel.
Thank you very much.
For many of you guys, my name is Bisi Ogunwale.
Yeah.
I'm a Nigerian,
Yeah.
first and foremost, and I'm also a Canadian.
Okay.
And I just want to talk to you guys about, some of the good work that this gentleman has been doing here. So, how's it going? Talk to me.
Man, I'm so glad, I'm so humbled because this is one of the opportunities I've been yearning for a so good time. The time I texted you after seeing your works and how you're doing, I was afraid even to say like, can I get a time with you?
Why is that?
As frankly speaking, I was like, I don't know if one time you can even accept to sit with me and discuss something, right?
Oh,
just to our viewers, just to our community, you in different community, we believe Uganda they are so smart, but we also believe and applaud you guys, the Nigerian they are so smart, right?
Thank you.
We
much.
agree that, and the little I know, very many people they always say like if you associate with Nigerians, you know you're going far. That's
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's the thing I can tell
Okay.
you. So, but they also tell us be clean whenever you dealing with them because they are not not so straight. But doesn't take you the fact that you're so smart and you always you are a good how can I say you always open doors wherever some people like they are afraid to go there, right? So first of all, before we go any further, how long have you been in Canada?
It's been almost 8 years now.
8 years.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll start with asking you like what are some of the things you've seen like most of the immigrants, most especially Africans, people coming from African countries, they have in common the time you've spent in Canada?
I think the reason why most people come here is because many of us are living where we're coming out from, especially when we look at the things that are happening back home. A lot of people feel like they look for better opportunities to come out here. Someone like me, that's not the reason why I came.
So,
I would say that I was forced to come out here. I didn't want to come. But I still believe that Africa is a place for many of us to be. We hold the responsibility of doing well out here and going back home to go and help our people at home, because it's important for people at home in Africa to understand that we need to do well here for us to be able to help people back home. So when I see people of African descent that are here, I see a lot of people who are determined to be successful at whatever it is that they do, to do well in everything that they lay their hands upon, to be good examples, for other people back home in Africa.
Okay.
I think the thing that we all have in common is the fact that everybody, and which is not a good thing, I must say, everybody keep within their own community for the most part. We need to integrate more.
Okay.
Doesn't matter whether you're from Kenya, Tanzania, whether you're from Zimbabwe or Rwanda, or maybe whether you're from Ghana or Nigeria, or you're from, Cameroon. We need to come together more. Okay. I've seen a lot of Africans come here, work really hard. And you see, for me or you doing well in silos, it amounts to nothing but until all of us are able to come together and, build something as a community of black diaspora community before we can begin to see the effect of that.
Yeah.
But I see something that is very common. Okay. We love ourselves and we're always looking out for each other. And for that, I want to say I'm very proud to be a black man on this part of the world. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Anyway, that's what just introduction now. We want to understand who are you, what are you doing in Canada, and how our life started way back for 8 years. Just walk us through the 8 years of Bisi.
For us to look at that critically, we need to look at where, many of us were before that time. So if I use myself as an example, I came here just about 8 years ago. I didn't know what the plan was going to be. I just know, just like everybody, this is a new place that you're going into, and you're trying to find your space in that, in that environment. As with many people, some people will say, oh, I need to go back to school, I need to go and get into another job. I just don't want to do any of those, because I've gone to enough schools, as I believe personally. I've also thought that, I've gone to so many different types of jobs in the past, and it's about time that I have something of my own that I can build. So I came here with family. I have 2 kids, and my daughter is now going to be 14, and then I have an 11-year-old son.
Yeah.
And so when we came here, it was just trying to understand what a new system is.
Yeah.
As with every new person, you come from what you used to know. Before I came here, I lived in UK for a while.
Yeah.
And so I understand the system there. But coming into Canada was totally different.
From UK to this?
Oh yeah, absolutely different. So every country has their own individual jurisdictional system. The way things work were a whole lot different.
Like, so, sorry to jump in. Like I always put it in my mind, like as Canadian and people from UK, I think they are same.
We're not same.
We are not same.
No. I mean, I've had the privilege of living in the 2 countries, at least if I put it 2 times, I mean, the years that I live in 2 countries together is well over almost 15 years now.
So we either not the same to American, we not the same to UK.
I mean, every country is different.
Okay.
You can't expect everything to, I mean, there are similarities, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Even between the US and Canada, there are still some commonalities, but here, the tax system is different. The financial system is totally different. It's totally different from what I'm used to from back home. I always say this every time. I feel like in Africa, especially in Nigeria, we have a well-developed financial services system more than they have here in terms of infrastructure. Even in America, I think, our banking system is way, in terms of infrastructure sophistication. I still personally believe that when it comes to transfers and stuff like that, we're better off. But that's by the way. But when it comes into the system of the United Kingdom, the job that is available to you, the property market, and all of those things are totally different. The kind of, things that people need to. I'm one of those people who haven't really worked for any employer here, so I don't know so much about when it comes to employment space in Canada. I've been here about 8 years now. I've just pretty much been doing my own business. I haven't really worked a day of serious, 9-to-5 job like that. So I can't speak too much about what is going on there. But I do honestly believe with the people who are in that space, if you ask a few people that I've had the privilege of living in 2 countries, United Kingdom and Canada, the system are two different systems, even though we have the same, the Majesty, the King of England, as the head of our government right now.
Yeah.
Where we run the same parliamentary system and all of that, but the system is still so different.
Okay.
But I think for me, when I came here in the first instance, is understanding what the system is. For my brothers and sisters in Africa who are here as African diaspora or Black diaspora or people who want to come, one of the things that you need to understand first and foremost is to understand the game and rule of engagement of the game. Because if you don't understand the rule of engagement of the game that you're trying to play in, you might find yourself, on the losing end. And that's pretty much what is happening with many of our brothers and sisters. So you have to understand how the system works. What are the things that you need to know, and then what are the things that you don't have to do. And that's first and foremost what I took time to learn about immediately after I got here. It wasn't easy at the beginning to understand the system, to be able to navigate and grow in the system. But over time, as you get more educated about the system, you apply the things that you can apply, the places where you can get some leeways and all of that, and it becomes a lot easier. And then it's been quite interesting over the last 8 years or thereabout.
Okay. So the thing you talked about, like you adopt the system immediately after getting in Canada, right? Mm-hmm. So you never worked for anything like any company or whatever, something?
Oh yeah, I did. I mean, I did some Uber. I worked in the warehouse, but a proper 9-to-5 job, writing resumes to go and look for a job for an extended period of time. I didn't do that.
Why?
Because I don't think it's something that I want to do. I mean, before I came out here, I had my own business that I was running back in Nigeria. I had a manufacturing company. I've been in banking. I've been in different things. I was in politics space in Nigeria as well. I ran for a political office. And so by the time I came to Canada, I was a full entrepreneur back home. I had a factory that was running. And so when I got here, the first question I kept asking people is, I don't want to stay in Canada. What kind of business can I do? What can I do that is going to give me some time and, when I'm gone, and I can pick it up whenever I come back. So, so when it comes to people looking for a job, trying to find a 9 to 5, a permanent employment, that was not something that I was,
from the beginning,
I was considering from the beginning.
Wow. Okay, so walk us through the situation, how you discovered yourself, how you struggled to discover yourself, and finally got what you've been like, you had in the mind and prayed to get it. Then after you get it, just walk us through the situation, the transition and everything.
This thing that you said is quite funny. There's sometimes when people are praying to be able to find a breakthrough.
Yeah.
And then maybe God has already answered the prayer.
Wow.
But many people don't accept that their prayers have been answered because that's not the answer they were looking for.
Okay.
For me, that was my situation because when I got here, I got into the country on the 26th of May, and I just kept asking questions from the people who hosted me. When you first come into the country, somebody hosts you, put you in a place for those who have those kind of opportunities. So I asked, what is it that people do here? I mean, while everybody come into the country, 2 or 3 days later, they're writing resume. I wake up every morning and just go and jog. I just run around every day. That's the first set of things that I did. I want to know the land. I want to know the landscape of the place where I've come into.
But you have a bill to pay.
Oh, I do. So
you're wasting a lot of time. People always ask us like, don't waste time, just accept and start from zero.
I mean, we all started from zero. I did start from zero as well because, I didn't start from 100. I started from zero. But your zero is different from my own zero.
Okay.
So I wake up every morning and try to do a second job.
Yeah.
And, at the time, so I will go to that place. I will work night, 7 p.m. in the evening to about 7 a.m. in the morning. So I do 12-hour shift of that,
overnight
distribution center place. But I did it for maybe about 5 months.
Okay.
And that was it.
How was it?
It was tiring. It was the most, craziest thing that anybody
You have a lot of hours.
A lot of people think that working at night is, it's a good thing. It's the most horrible thing that anybody can ever do. Because, you see, God created night for us to sleep.
Exactly.
And created day for us to work.
Yeah.
And so, think about this. People who are working at night are supposed to be sleeping.
Yeah.
The people who will help your destiny are sleeping in the night while you are working. And during the day when they're awake and then they're doing stuff, you will probably be sleeping because of all the time that, where would the two people meet? So those were the first thing that came to my mind. I can't sustain this and I can't keep going on like this.
But you had a long hours. Like people are yearning, they always cry for the hours. I don't want 8 hours. If I get a job like 12 to 12, 12 hours, that's enough money. Enough hours to get money and even pay my bills. So you had enough hours to make your life better, like to get the hours, you know what I mean? Like
the long hours is not enough. And that's the reason why I said that you need to understand the system. The longer you work, the more money you make, the more taxes you pay, the less you have to be able to do the things that you want to do for yourself.
Say that again?
The longer you work, the more money you make, the more taxes you pay, the lesser you have to be able to do the things that you want to do for yourself.
Wow.
So I understood that from the beginning, that the longer you stay in an employment, people take a lot of overtime, extra shift just so because they want to make more money. But if you look at what is left at the end of the day, they're just working for money and then, they never to really take good money back home.
Yeah.
So I understand the tax system from the beginning. I know that if I have to work that hard to be able to make money, then I'm in trouble. So what can I do is to have a business where, the thing with business is pretty simple. If you work 9 to 5, this is the way I tell people. You work 9 to 5, let's say they promise that they're going to pay you $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's
a good one. Yeah.
That's what people think. It's a lot of money, right? But taxes is taken off before you even get the money. Before you get your own money, they're taking away taxes from you.
Yeah.
So let's say maybe you are at maybe about 20-25% tax. I'm just using numbers, right? Let's say you are at maybe 30% average tax rate. That's $30,000 out of the 100K, so you're left with $70,000. By the time they deduct all of the CPP, employment insurance, employment insurance, long-term benefit, this, that, RSP, and all of that,
Yeah.
you probably end up with about $60,000 or something like that. But if I do a business and I make $100,000, right? I will get the entire of the $100,000 into my pocket.
Are you for real?
Oh yes, and then I will have to account for the things that I bought if I'm one that buy things to sell, and so I take all of that off. Or if it is the services that you provide, I have to take in cognitive of, I have to be cognitive of the things that I, expenses that I incur to be able to make that money.
So you see your money
So-
while you're working, like...
I will say exactly how much money I work for. I will take all of the expenses away, and then whatever is left is what I'm going to pay taxes on. So I understood that from the beginning. So it is easier for me to be able to manage how I make money and what it is that I do at every point in time. And I can get maximum value for my time and my, better reward for myself. So think about it this way. You made $100,000, you remove everything that they take taxes, and then as a business owner I do the same thing. At the end of the day, yeah, you have expenses. You have to pay for your house as a mortgage or rent.
Yeah.
You have to pay for your car, insurance, and all of that.
Yeah.
Those are some of the expenses that can also qualify as business expense for somebody like me, and I can take those as write-offs so I can reduce the amount of taxes that I pay at the end of the day.
Wow.
So, I wanted to help people to understand that at the beginning. And that's the reason why, I've always been in the financial services space, so I was looking for something to do in the financial services space. So I help people to understand, first and foremost, the money game. If you don't understand how money works, you will keep working for money till the day you die.
So the financial background you had back home, it helped you to become the person you are right now in Canada?
No, not necessarily so.
Okay.
The fact that you have financial background from back home doesn't change the fact that this is a new system. Then you need to be able to understand what the system is. Because I see a lot of people who have similar background from home, and they still don't understand what the system is till yet. It's that every jurisdiction, every every country has their own different way of doing things. So you have to understand how things work in different places. And once you understand how things work there, you can then begin to play towards how that works. But I still understand that some people are in the space where they're looking for stabilization. I need to find this job to be able to stabilize. I need to be able to do this. But many of our brothers and sisters are in a place where they don't even like what it is that they're doing. But they keep doing it because they feel like there's nothing else for them to do. I hate to break it to you. No, there is a lot of things to do. You just have to be ready to, sacrifice some time to learn new things and get new things done.
Okay, so now you, after how many years then you discovered your way right now? The life you're living right now. How long it took you to discover yourself? From the factory job, Uber, and a lot of works.
9 months.
9 months?
Yeah.
You kidding? 9 months?
Oh yes.
Okay, so you started your business now?
Oh, since 2018, yes. You have to understand this thing in Canada.
That's a big decision.
If you think about Ontario, have you ever seen the plate number of Ontario before? When you see the plate number, what is the tagline?
Yours to discover.
Yours to discover.
Yeah.
How many people really have discovered that? I live in Ontario. It says yours to discover.
To discover, yeah.
So it is my responsibility to go and discover it.
Yeah.
What exactly are people doing differently? How are people surviving here? And what I see with many of our brothers and sisters from Africa is you just want to take the menial jobs and just keep doing that. You can't keep in one. You can't rely on just one, sphere of. One source of income to be able to survive here.
That's why they do 2 jobs.
So that's the same thing. It's just the same source of income, job.
Okay.
Because think about it this way. You have this job. Let's say it pays you maybe $30,000 per annum. And then you take another job.
Yeah.
And that job pays you maybe another $25,000.
Yeah.
And then you take another job. Let's say that one pays you another maybe $25,000. So you have 30, 25, 25.
Yeah.
Now you are $80,000.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What you find is that you have 3 jobs that are giving you 3 different types of stress.
Okay, as they say, okay.
3 different types of stress. But you have the 3 jobs have brought you into one tax bracket that all of the money is now taxed on the basis of this is how much money you make.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, people don't have enough to be able to live a decent life afterwards, even though they put so much time and so much effort, break their backs into those 3 jobs.
Okay, so,
So you see many of our brothers and sisters just in a place where the only thing they do is work.
yeah.
I mean, let me give you an example. I flew down to go to Newfoundland last weekend. I was in Newfoundland. I was in the Atlantic region for about 4 days.
Yeah.
And we were at a meeting, and there was this gentleman. His name is Joseph, and he mentioned something about how one of our brothers and sisters in the community, an African man. I mean, no disrespect, but this person was from West Africa. I don't want to mention the country's name so that people don't think that I'm shaming their country.
Yeah.
So he was telling us about how the parents came, the father and the mother came because they gave birth to a child, right? And then so the parents were very ecstatic and they came to come and see their children and their grandchild. And so the mother noticed that the guy who is their husband, who happened to be their son-in-law, the lady is their own daughter, right? The husband will go to work in the morning, and as the husband is coming in the evening, the woman has to go to work.
Okay, yeah. No
So
time.
both of them were not really together in the same space until when they have time off from work or they are on break or something like that. So they're not able to stay in the same place.
But they are together.
And they're married. They have a new baby who is a couple of months old now and all of that.
You can't even know how they got the baby.
And then the mother called her daughter one day and said, I don't understand the kind of life that you guys are living. You are always out. Your husband is always out. When did you guys have the time to even make this baby?
That was the question.
You know, so because at the end of the day, that's the life that most people live here.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with you wanting to work, but you see, there's too much work that we put in the system. We are one of Africans generally, and more importantly Nigerians, we read a lot. We are very well, educated. You have so many types of degrees and all of that.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of work. So, looking for the best doctors, looking for this, looking for that, you'll find them in the community. But we're still the poorest set of people.
Yeah.
So, it's the truth.
Okay.
The black community is still very poor today because of that. So we need to begin to look at money game differently.
Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're still with Bisi. I don't know how I can describe Bisi, but it's just a privilege to have him on the set for real. 2 to 3 months, I think 2 to 3 months, I was talking to him one day. Then I told him I'm moving from one place to another place. So he was doing some stuff with me. Then he asked me, so after that's why I said I wanted to have an interview with you. So after asking me a lot of questions, through going through my personal
financial story?
Yeah. Then he asked me, you own a house? I told Bisi that I came in 2023. I don't know how you asked me if I own a house or a property in Canada. It was a kind of ridiculous question to me. So you asked, the answer it was, I bought my first house. I always got the word first because after saying first there was another second. so I was like, I bought my first house after 1 year. My question was, how do you guys do that?
Okay,
And how do you get away from the stress of the mortgage? Because they always tell us after getting into the trap of the mortgage, then that's another stress and another stress. But a person 8 years is having more than one house. How do you do that? Just walk us through that.
So I think the first and foremost thing that you need to understand is this. It is now so difficult to be able to buy a house in Ontario now. Because everything is so difficult to do now in Ontario in terms of buying houses. Because it's ridiculously, expensive.
Yeah.
But back in 2018, 2019, when we just, started out here, it was a little bit, a little bit easier.
Okay.
prices were not as crazy as it is right now.
Yeah.
You could still find a decent house in Ontario for, you know, 400, 450, $500,000. But today you can't find any of that.
Even in Oakville?
Oakville? You want to buy a house in Oakville?
No, I was just curious.
You cannot find a decent house in Oakville.
Because I thought expensive thing there so much in Toronto, I mean in downtown areas, something like that.
Oakville is the most expensive part of Ontario.
Okay.
Right? You cannot find any house in this part of the town today for anything less than maybe 1.2, 1.5 million dollars. I mean, and that's me being really very generous with this. I don't think you can find a house in Oakville today that is less than $1.2 million or $1.5 million. If you want a decent house.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think you can find anything like that.
From 2025 to the next years to come.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, I don't think there's anything like that. But just take you back to where you started from. How was it possible?
Yeah.
Is many people came into this country first and foremost with they want to survive.
Yeah.
I didn't come into this country with the mindset of I want to survive. I know I already survived. I want to thrive. That's what I came with the mindset of it. So, I mean, as an African, more importantly as a Nigerian, I traveled thousands of miles from the shores of, you know, Lagos, Nigeria to come into this place.
Yeah.
The last thing on my mind is survival, because I already am surviving.
Exactly.
I want to be able to thrive here. So it was a conscious plan that I need to be able to find, because you can't rely on salary to be able to do anything in this part of the world. How much is the salary? How do you buy a house? In Ontario today, the average home is about $800,000.
Yeah.
And so if you rely on just a salary to be able to do that, how much are you getting paid? Maybe $50,000, $40,000. You know, people get lucky to find $65,000, $70,000 job today. Coupled with the cost of living that is going on around, things are a lot difficult to be able to do.
Yeah.
So back then, you could still find a house for, you know, $500,000. I think the first house that I bought was for $505,000.
Okay.
The second one I bought it for $445,000. You know, and this was in 2019 and 2020. Right?
So in just a space of 2 years, I mean 1 year, 2 houses.
Oh yeah, it's possible because if you have the money, you can buy the house. If you make good income, you could be able to qualify for mortgages, and then you have your down payment, yes. And that's what business helped you to do anyway, because you can't tell what you can make in a business. If you do a business, you earn more money, and then if you do a business, you look differently from somebody who's earning a 9 to 5, right? They want to be able to see that this business is sustainable. You've done this for the last 2 years, and you're making income from it.
I'm gonna just ask you something. So after doing the down payment for the first house, what is the percentage you had during that time? Then you purchased another house.
So your first house, mostly if you're a first-time home buyer, you just need to contribute the minimum amount to be able to buy that house.
Minimum.
So if you buy anything less than $500,000, all you need is 5%. Anything beyond $500,000, you might have to contribute at least, you know, 5% for the first $500,000 and then 10% on the remaining one. And if you think about the next house, as long as you probably, you know, maybe you want to buy it as an investment house, you pay 20% down. But I didn't buy it as an investment house. It was for me, what is it called? Me moving out of the old house to go into the new one. And then, you know, I just put another minimum down payment on the second one. So that's the way it is.
So I think it's so easier to get to purchase a first house than getting another house.
I mean, see, the first one is the hardest actually.
You said the minimum 5%.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but the procedure to go,
the first one is the hardest. Anything you do in life, the first thing is the hardest. The first $1 million you will make is the hardest you will make. The second one is going to be a lot easier than the second one.
Oh.
The first house you buy is going to be the hardest one you will buy. All subsequent ones will be easier for you to do. Anything at all that you do. The first one is the hardest, mainly because you haven't done it before, you don't know how it works and all of that.
Exactly.
But by the time you do the first one, you now have some experience behind you, so it's easier for you to continue to do whatever it is that you do.
So all of those houses there in the prime area like Oakville?
I mean, you want me to tell everybody on TV where my house is at?
Okay, I get it.
You know,
Okay.
I mean, see, these are all in places here in Ontario that, you know, everybody wants to live. So without necessarily spending too much time where exactly it is. Yes, I live in Oakville, but I mean that's not the first or the second. But you know, let's just leave.
So even the third. Oh my God! That's why I was like, I want to sit with you for real.
I mean, so the first thing about it this way.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was easier back then because properties were not that expensive.
Yeah.
But again, anybody that wants to get into real estate space in Canada today can still get into different provinces out of,
right?
You know, out of Ontario. I haven't done any research, so please don't listen to me. Don't quote me anywhere.
Yeah.
But you know, I still believe that I've seen a lot of people move out of Ontario to go to different places. Many people move into Alberta, you know, Manitoba. People move into Newfoundland, New Brunswick, and all of those different places just so they can buy houses there because it wasn't affordable to be able to buy here, given the income that they were making and all of that. But that's not the issue. I think the problem is the fact that people don't make enough money.
True.
So it has nothing to do with where you live or anything. The truth is you don't make enough. You cannot rely on one source of income to be able to live a better life in this part of the world. Because that one source of income is already maximally taxed, and what is left might not be enough for you to be able to deal with stuff. So you have to find another source of income that can contribute to what it is.
Okay.
So also, I want people to know this. Many people earn good money, but they waste most of it. You have to understand the fact that you need to set aside some money for you and your family first before you can begin to pay other people. And so you have to have financial education to be able to understand all of this. You bring, you know, a knife to a gunfight, you already lost. The biggest weapon that people need to be able to win financial freedom war is to be able to have financial education. And so that's one of the things that I like to talk to people about.
Oh. Now, what kind of the business do you do? I mean, to put in a position of owning such stuff so far you have, it's a kind of, I mean, it's inspiring to hear such stories. Because the time I had you tell me that you own a house, I was like, I don't know why he's even asking me that question now. I've got it. Like in just a space of 1 year, two houses, you already purchased it. You don't have any stress at all.
Oh, there's always stress. I mean, if you have a tenant that is calling you at 6 o'clock in the morning or 11 p.m. in the evening, and so that's stressful. So
the stress you have now is a tenant.
I mean, that's stressful. You know, people call you and, you know, everything comes with stress.
Okay.
But the question is, what kind of stress do you want?
Okay.
To be broke is stressful.
Yeah, sure.
To be rich is also stressful.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, it is.
I've never been there.
I'm not rich either, okay?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm comfortable.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not rich, but I'm very, very comfortable.
Wow.
But to be broke is stressful.
Yeah.
To be rich is also very stressful.
Yeah.
To be successful in life is hard, but to be broke or poor too is very hard.
Okay.
So you have to choose the hard that you're looking for. So I always tell people, do you want to go through pain or you want to keep suffering? Which one do you want?
Okay.
So you got to choose. Pain is temporary. So you need to be able to understand what you have to do to understand what you need to, you know, where you're going to. People ask the wrong questions every time. The question people ask is what, how. But the real question to ask is why.
Okay.
Why? Because, you know, you asked me the question of, you know, how are you going to do that? Why do I want to do that is what is most important. I don't want anything to ever put me in a place where my daughter or my son needs something and I can't afford to give it to them.
Yeah, that's so bad.
You know, I don't want to be in a place where I would say, you know what, we have to wait until whatever before we can do this or that. So, what do I got to do today? As long as it is legal, it is ethical, and is morally okay, I'm ready to do it.
So your success, it was like a flashlight? How, like, you worked for it? Like, how was your success? I mean...
I'm not, see, I need you to look at this thing relatively. I'm not successful yet.
Okay, but
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I need to make this thing categorically clear.
Yeah, but no compatibility. Like
I am very comfortable,
okay.
but I don't see myself as a wealthy person or as a rich person just yet. There's still a lot of things to do.
Okay.
And we are on the path to it, and we will get there, as a matter of fact.
Amen.
But what you need to understand is nothing in life is easy.
Exactly.
You have to sacrifice something to get whatever it is that you want.
Okay.
Maybe some of you want to be able to sleep longer. I don't have that, I don't have that luxury of time to sleep. Maybe some of you want to, party and then do stuff. I don't have that luxury of time to do those things.
Yeah.
Some people just want to take it easy. I don't have the luxury of taking things easy. I have to put in the hard work today so I can have a better and easier life tomorrow. And if you don't put in the time today, you still have to put the time tomorrow. So it's up to you to decide what it is that you want to do. But to answer your question, it's not a flash in the pan.
Okay.
It is real hard work.
Wow.
Gruesome day and night of blood, sweat, and some time, real hard work of brain work, sitting down, trying to understand what does the system allows me to do or not do, how can I help people. I'm in the financial services space. I own a financial services agency. I'm in a place where I have to keep myself abreast of information that is going on so that I can be able to help my clients to be able to make informed decisions about what their money does for them and what their money doesn't do for them. Okay. And that helps me to be able to put my own money in places where it can work for me as well. Most people choose to have easy life today. A lot of people are in the place where they want to solve, permanent solutions permanent problems with temporary solutions, instead of them to be able to use a permanent solution to be able to deal with, a permanent solution for permanent problems. We ask questions because we want answers. But the question that you are asking, does it give you the kind of answers that you want for your life to look like? Many people are in a place where they're working, but at the same time they're doing serious business on the side.
Okay.
And then they're making, decent amount of money that can replace the income that they make from that job that they do.
You are watching The Answer Channel, a solution to every situation. Subscribe right now.
Whereas some people are working 9 to 5, and at the end of the day, once that 5 stops, it's PS station that they're going to play, or they play Nintendo and just, waste time.
Where is the party?
Yeah. Where is the next gig that we have to go and party and all of that? It's up to you to decide.
Yeah.
But think about it, Gerard. Yeah. Today is the 5th of July, 2025.
Yeah.
When did we say Happy New Year 2025?
It's like just yesterday.
It just felt like maybe 2 days ago that we did it.
True.
So my question to you that is watching me today is to ask yourself this question. What have you done for yourself so far in 2025? And if you don't change your ways right now, if nothing changes, where do you think you're going to land in December of 2025? So you got to ask yourself that question. Most people at the beginning, what they call New Year resolution, new goals and all of that.
Write down.
And new people write it.
Yeah.
But that's the end. They never look at it again until the end of the following year.
It is what it is. YOLO.
But people keep setting resolutions, setting goals. But you forget to put the right sacrifices that you have to set to make those things happen.
Yeah.
We underestimate the power that we have and what God has deposited in each and every one of us.
Wow.
We allow the things that are happening around us to influence the way we live. We live a reactionary life instead of being proactive about it.
Wow.
So that for me is the reason why I think that we can do a little bit different in this part of the world. So please, I'm not successful yet. Just for the record.
Just putting the disclaimer.
Just for the record, I'm not successful yet, but I'm comfortable.
Wow. I think you're one of the first person to tell me that. My circle. Many people, they don't want to disclose that. But one of the person who was saying like, I'm comfortable where I am in this country. Thank you for opening up. Now, there was a day he told me one, in our discussion, because whenever I get a chance to discuss, to have a one-on-one with you, I want to use it. And sometimes I put like, I have 2 ears, but I add another 2 to make 4, whenever you talk. Then there was a day you say like, I lived 2 weeks in Canada, another 2 weeks in the USA.
Mm.
I was like, how is it possible, like, to work in 2 countries? Like, how is it? Just walk us through into that. Like, how is it working in Canada and another? Like, how do you manage the expenses of traveling and everything like that? And what are you doing in the USA? What are you doing in Canada?
You know, I like the part where you mentioned, how do you manage the expenses of traveling and all of that?
Yeah.
Many of us see the expenses, but we don't see the potential of what can come from it.
Okay, but this is the financial media.
You know, so think about it this way.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody would just not put money down and say, I'm just traveling to places when they're not making money from there. So there has to be a reason why the person does what he does. Unless the person is crazy, which I'm not. So I have a business in the US. I have a financial services agency in the US. I have a financial services agency here in Canada. I have a bunch of people that I'm working with as business partners and clients in the US, and the same thing here in Canada.
So it's two weeks.
I mean, for the most part, I'm in the US every month. Sometimes, I don't know. People ask me, you know, one of the things that I get asked every time now is, where do you stay? Where are you right now? And you have joined the bad gang of people who ask me that same question as well. And this is not to say that, you know, you have to do the same thing that I do,
yeah,
and all of that. But if you get the chance to be able to live a better life,
yeah,
why don't you take it?
Exactly, yeah, you have to.
You know, somebody told me, I don't like to travel. I said, that's you. I love traveling.
Yeah.
I love traveling, you know. You know, how do you do it? It's not about how do I do it. The question is, why do I do it?
Yeah.
How, what is not a question to ask. People ask answers, you know, they ask questions because they want to get a lower response. But you need to ask the right question so that you can get a higher response. The higher response is why, the lower response is what and how. What do I mean by that? Why do I need to go into the US often to be able to get things done? I want to be able to establish a business that allows me not to work, you know, as hard as some people are currently doing. And I can be able to have that same thing given to my children when that time comes. Legacy is important to me. I want to be remembered as somebody who came into this world and have impact on people's lives. I don't just want to come here and live an average life. I do really honestly believe that my life is worth more than just living an ordinary average life. So the question is, why do I have to get into the US on a regular basis? I have a business. And if I don't go there, who's going to monitor the business for me?
But
do you know that there's some people in Canada today who work in the US as a 9-to-5 job? They drive into the US every day.
Yeah, you're right.
So what are you talking about?
Okay, so I get you.
Okay.
There are many. And they always use I think via Niagara. Is it?
Yeah, I know somebody who drives from Brantford every day to go to Niagara Falls. Buffalo, that's where he was. I know a lot of people who are living in Windsor and London, you know, Axis. They drive into Michigan every day to work and then come back. So it's the same thing that we all do. I'm just not doing my own with work. I'm doing it with my own business.
Okay, so another thing, there's a time you told me, like, I own a property in Canada and the USA. You are a Canadian citizen, right?
Yes, I am.
Then you told me that I also own a property in the USA. I mean, how do you get access to buy a property in USA and you are a Canadian? You told me that day, when you have money, everything is possible.
And that's the correct thing, yeah? See, what do you need to buy the house?
Money.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a Canadian citizen. I have brothers who are Nigerians who live in Nigeria. They own properties in the US. Why can't I?
They are Nigerian, they own the properties in the US.
They are Nigerians living in Nigeria and they own properties in the US. I know a lot of people who do that.
Oh my God.
So you gotta understand one thing here.
I need you, bro.
As a Nigerian, I don't believe that nothing is impossible.
Okay.
That's what we grew up with. I don't believe nothing is impossible as a Nigerian.
And I had another point, like, if you fool on 40, you will be a fool forever.
Oh, that's something that we say in Nigeria very well.
It's a good one, I like it.
A fool at 40 is a fool forever.
If you make 40 years and you're a fool,
you'll be a fool forever. If you are 40 years old and then you haven't started really drilling into the things that you want to do in your life, what have you done with the first half of your life? In fact, there's a musician in Nigeria that sang about it. A fool at 40 is a fool forever. That is something that everybody in Nigeria knows.
I started to think about it today, the time I've been with you. It is a nice one, yeah.
Think about it this way. As a Nigerian, I've seen so many things in my life to know that I can achieve anything that I put my mind to.
Wow.
I was born and raised to know that I don't bow to anybody. This world is for me to be able to conquer.
You against the world.
That's the way it is. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I'm very privileged. I am grateful to God Almighty for everything that I've done.
Yeah.
And for the things that I've still not done that I will get to do. But, you know, as much as I'm grateful to God, I want to also say it on the record that I've worked really hard for everything that I have. And for the things that I will still have, I'm working hard for them as well. So you gotta understand two things. One, what in life do you want? What are your goals? What do you dream about? What is your vision for yourself? Have you written them down? If you don't write them down, you're just wasting your time. So, question for you today is, let's say you died today, God forbid. What do you want people to remember you as? Yeah. What do you want people to remember you with? What kind of impact have you created in people's life, people who have met with you? What have you done that can make them to look at you differently? In 2005, when I joined one of the biggest banks in Nigeria to work as an employee back then, we had a training school that we need to go to. And one of the first exercises that we did back then, and then Tutu did this, and I'm forever grateful to that woman. He said, bring out a sheet of paper and draw your own obituary. Write the same way you will want people to remember you, assuming that you die right now. You know, for so many people that is, how can you ask me to be talking about if I die? Nobody wants to talk about that.
Yeah.
But that singular event changed my life because I now know that my life is not for me. My life is in the service of other people.
Yeah.
How many people can I change their lives if I meet them? My actions, my deeds would impact people's life, whether positively or negatively.
True.
So what do I got to do? Is to do things differently from there on, right? And so we decided from that day, this is what you want to be. If I die today, this is what I want people to remember me with. But on an annual basis, you got to review it. So we've done this, what next, what next? Every Nigerian out there can tell you this for a fact. We don't believe in settling. We don't carry, Nigeria they carry last. That's a frame that, you know, a phrase that we have. Nigeria they carry last. We don't come last. We always aim to be at the forefront every time.
Okay.
So it's something that, you know, we've seen so many things in this world to just, I came to Canada and then I just give up. No, you gotta fight.
Okay.
As Africans, there's something that you should know. In the safari, there is a gazelle that wakes up every morning. As fast as I can,
yeah.
I'm not going to get food to eat today. But the gazelle also knows that if I don't run as fast as I can, I'm going to be lion's food tonight.
Exactly.
So every day is a constant battle of fighting for your life.
Wow. 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 Oh my God. I don't know if I told you that, but I always like to talk to you, like on a basis. You're one of the person I want to talk to every time, because whenever I talk to you, I don't go empty, right? My mission and goals and passion whenever I do interviews on YouTube, it is beyond earning money.
Mm.
It is information that my passion is sharing the information to people. Maybe other people, they would not take it, especially people like some videos is not for everyone at a particular time. But YouTube, what I like about YouTube, it always keep the records for a long time.
Yeah.
So other generation may need the information and they will not do the same mistake. Maybe we did, or maybe we're gonna do it. We're gonna do in the time. So I love sharing the stories. I love sharing the information that will help the generation to come. That's one of my niche, and that's one of my passion that I always think more when I do the interview. So I'm so humbled that you gave me first of all the time, accept my invitation. I want not just to be the last time to sit with you, because I always come to you, I always come, but whenever I get a chance, even if it's 20 minutes, it's very important to other people like to get information. Because today we've said a lot, we think we said a lot, but there is some gaps where people, they want to start like, okay, we've had the introduction, it's like an introduction, then they want to see how can we elevate our life, you know, to the next step. So I would like I would like to give us some time wherever we get a chance and we talk more.
I mean, see, just like you know, you're my friend, Gerald, so you know to an extent how busy things can get for me.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I don't take it for granted that I had the opportunity to sit down here with you this afternoon.
Yeah. And
I'm really grateful that, you know, I know we've put so many times to get this done, but we didn't get the time. But today, we're here.
Yeah.
But before I go out of here, the answer to your question is yes. I don't know when that will be. We will find time to make it happen. Maybe before the end of the year.
Yeah.
But I can tell you for a fact.
End of the year is too far.
I mean, that's why I said before the end of the year. I need to check with my sisters to know what the schedule is.
Okay, yeah.
I know I don't have anything left in. I mean, this quarter is almost full. The month of July, August, and September is pretty much, you know, full for me in terms of engagement. But I would be happy to schedule something.
Yeah.
So I'll find out from my assistants what time we can put into this.
Thank you.
But I want to talk to everybody before I leave here.
Yeah.
If you are on this part of the continent, you are either in Canada or you're in the US, and you're thinking about, I want to do something different for myself, we have an opportunity for you to be able to start another career in the financial services space. We talk to people about financial education. There's a new industry that is developing called the financial education industry. People need to know the things that they don't know about money. We are in a place where we teach people about how to make money, how to save money, how to accumulate money, and how to be able to, transfer the money in a tax-effective way.
Yeah.
So if you want to learn a little bit about how this could be an opportunity for you to get better for yourself, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'll be happy, more than enough, to show you a pathway that you can also work on to become somebody who is better off in this part of the world.
Yeah.
I do believe sincerely and strongly that you have the best opportunity to have, whatever it is that you want. We didn't come out of Uganda, Tanzania, Malawi, Rwanda, Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, wherever it is, Zimbabwe, Zambia, I don't know where you are from, but I've seen brothers and sisters from different parts of the continent. Or maybe you are not even from Africa and you just run into this video and you're wondering, what is this guy talking about? Reach out and let's talk about how being a business owner in the financial education industry can change things for you. We want to help people to understand how they can build a solid financial foundation for themselves in this part of the world, and then begin to lay foundation for generations that will come after to be better off.
So the LinkedIn, if they want to link with you.
Anybody that wants to see me on social media, my social media name is Bisi Ogunwale on all platforms, every one of them.
Okay.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, everything is Bisi Ogunwale. So maybe when Gerald writes the name, you will see that there. So if you want to talk about anything at all, about how you do better in the financial services space, or even maybe you're struggling with your personal finances and you just need advice, please reach out. We will be happy to have a conversation with you at no cost to you, because if once you said you got this from this particular video, there's no cost to you talking to me. All right?
Wow. Okay, Bisi, as we're winding up, how do you call Canada and USA and Nigeria in your life? Canada USA,
I
and
mean,
Nigeria.
I'm first and foremost a Nigerian.
Yes, sir.
That's it. Period. First and foremost, I'm a Nigerian.
Okay.
Yes, I'm also a Canadian by citizenship, and I'm resident in the US because of, you know, businesses and stuff like that. But you see, I mean, I love Africa a lot.
Yeah. So you also believe in investing in Africa, right?
Oh, motherland is home.
Okay.
I mean, I will tell you this, but I would say this, because what you just said now is very important that we address it.
Yeah.
I go to Africa at least 2 or 3 times every year.
Wow.
I mean, every year I go to Africa 2 or 3 times every year. I want to go to at least 2 countries in Africa every year. Last year I was in Rwanda for about a week. I was in Kenya for 4 days. And I mean, Nigeria is home, so I go to Nigeria twice every year. So I can go to Africa maybe 3 or 4 times in a year.
The mindset of investing?
I mean, there are people at home who need us.
Okay.
Not necessarily investing, but you can impact people with the knowledge that you have. You can help people to see things differently, you know, with what we do. And that does not mean that I don't have investment back home in Nigeria. I do have.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of Nigeria, I don't have. I'm considering other places right now.
Uganda?
I mean, I've never been to Uganda, so I'm looking for an opportunity to get into Uganda. I've had so many people invite me to come to Uganda, but I think I want to get there. I love food, so I go about going to different places in Africa to taste their food.
Yeah.
I think maybe, so what I do typically is every year I choose which part of Africa to go to. Right, so 2 years ago it was, you know, going to South Africa,
yes,
Zimbabwe and Zambia. Last year it was East Africa, so I did Rwanda and Kenya. So this year I'm going to go to, you know, North Africa. So I've been Tunisia and maybe Morocco. And 2022 it was North Africa because I was in Egypt and like that. The beauty of that is you go to different places, you see different things that you can do. But if it's not somewhere where you have the local people to collaborate with, it might be a little bit difficult for you to be able to do stuff there.
Yeah.
But that said, I want Africans to know one thing. You can't be in 2 places at the same time. You can't be in 2 places at the same time. You have to be strong in one place first before you can go into other places. So many of us live here in Canada or in the US, you're working here, but you put most of the things that you have back home. The question that I keep asking most people is this: what is your long-range plan? If you have children in this part of the world, I would ask you to invest here, because I don't see how my kids in the future would say they want to go and live in Nigeria.
At all.
I don't see how your children would say they want to go and live in Uganda. So the question is, if you put all the things that you do in Uganda today, what are you doing for them here? I don't know about you, but I am the first person in my lineage who came to this part of the world. So I am the ancestor for my generations here. What foundation are you laying for those that are going to come after you?
Yeah.
And if I were to die today and I have all my stuff in Nigeria, do you think my son or my daughter will go to Nigeria because they want to go and fight for their father's stuff?
I don't think so.
So, but that does not mean that I want to die here. I want to be able to go back home, live a decent life at some point in the future.
But do you give them the kind of a picture how Africa it is?
Oh yeah, they are Nigerians. They have Nigerian passport. We go home.
Oh yeah, okay.
So that's very important.
Okay. Wow, thank you very much, guys. Especially, the new subscribers that have just added. Joined the YouTube channel. Thank you very much. We've been with Bisi Ogonare, is a financial advisor. We just stayed in Oakville, Ontario. Yeah, Oakville, Ontario, in Canada. I think I just want to be his friend, and I'm pushing myself to him so much so that I can become so much friend to him. I got to know him through my friend Kapalaga, is in the USA. That's why we connected in any other way. So big up on yourself, Kapalaga. Michael Kakani is also doing a good job in the USA, and I always be on a call in the morning. And what makes me so happy is to see you switching. This week, Bisi is leading the call. The next time, Michael is leading the call. And the call we talk about is almost have some people like 500, 300 plus people, right? So I always see you, and I'm so proud of you guys, because you're leading the whites, you're leading the people we always look for, but they always pick you every time. I don't know how they select you guys, but every time I be on a call, I see Michael, I see you, and the other people. I'm just proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So that's it. I think when we get another chance, we shall have Bisi again and we'll discuss more about, because I know as a person I've been interacting with so long time. I mean, not so long, but the time we've interacted, he has a lot of information that he has to share to the community and other people to learn and understand what's going on. So thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everybody. It's been really nice, talking to you.
Exactly.
Let's find time to do this again in the last quarter of the year.
Wow. Thank you very much.
All right.
Have a good one.
The Answer Channel, a solution to every situation.